What's up guys, it's the Devil's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your W keying in the upcoming solo tournaments by analyzing one of the best EUW keyers, and that is Saevid. But before I get into this video analysis guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have Saevid's POV. He is going to be playing in the Pele Cup and W keying pretty heavily. We're going to be analyzing his two back-to-back victory royales. I have already VOD reviewed Saevid this season in the first week, and since it was fitting, since it was my most successful video of the season, why not VOD review him now that solo tournaments are a thing, with the Pele Cup being the first one, and now we have solo Saturdays. We're going to jump right into this first game. He already has 3 kills. He starts getting pressured by this opponent. Let's talk about this. Really good piece control, whiffs the shot, but good crouch with it as well, maximizing the movement to really create a good angle. Realize he has his opponent on his wall, and I believe this is an NAE cup, so he has really high ping, like 70. But really good job right there. Let's just take a look again because that's such good angles, movement, piece control, etc. It's just textbook. So he's going to get floor cone on this opponent, get back wall. Doesn't get it there. He jumps down. He has this wall. Notice how he tries to make that edit, realize that would be a bad edit because it would be a 50-50. He gets a nice little crack, and then he immediately jumps to the side to a right-hand peek, holds the front wall, ducks back behind, gets a crack, resets the wall, takes minimal damage, and then recracks, and boom, finishes the fight. Good kill for Saevid to start off this particular video. He's now at 4 kills. Using the bounty feature to attack this particular opponent. Also using performance mode. He is also on high ping. Really good crosshair placement right there. Doesn't get the wall right there. Good block off. Kicks that opponent one up. This opponent is using his mats to create space. Guy tries an X8 classic, whiffs the shot. Saevid also whiffs his shot right there. It's okay. Good pressure. He's not letting his opponent heal at all. Tries to metro in. The opponent's already ducking back. Good movement right there. Good duck through. He has really good movement. Now we're starting off this W key on this opponent. Nice triple edit on significantly high ping. Doesn't get the wall. Cone. Double swings, but the opponent jumps down. And then you're going to see excellent piece control, controlling the lair, keeping his opponent on the same lair, and thus ending the fight extremely fast after getting the cracks. So just, again, take a look at Saevid mechanically is extremely good, even on 70-60 ping. He does double swing right here, but the jump makes it a little less dangerous. Gets a 40 crack, and then gets another crack, edits through, and the cone getting down first because it's the most important, and it keeps him on the same layer. Then he can establish the back wall if he doesn't kill him, but he does, and that's a GG's. Quick fight over. Let's move on into the next particular engagement. 6 kills going around Coliseum. Still pretty good mechanics for 60 ping. Good attempt right there, editing through with the blueprints and on a right-hand peek. Right here. Nice cone. He kind of scuffs fat fingers to his sniper, but gets bailed out by very good aim and crosshair placement on his head. That was a little bit of a cycle. The opponent made a good read with being on controller. Now that you're going to see just someone that's kind of lost in the sauce right here. Good piece control attempts. The opponent is just absolutely lost. Not much to say there, just bullying someone that clearly has no idea what they're doing. Now he's at 8 kills going into this next engagement. He gets this guy to stop santating. He immediately blocks off because he knows that there's an opponent there. Sprams through with the scar, doesn't get the wall, immediately jumps on the right side. Good crosshair placement, and then good movement. Let's just take a look at that as well, because again, the opponent being the aggressor, and Saevid just capitalized with good crosshair placement, and you have to be really technical when you're on high ping. So this is why this is good. He blocks his front off from this opponent originally, but then decides to push him. One, because he's boxed up in wood. That's usually a good sign an opponent's pretty bad. He sprays through, doesn't get any particular tags, but notice how he doesn't stay immediately on the wall here. He immediately ducks to this left side. Look at where the crosshair is, right on his opponent as he makes the edit out, cracks, and this is what being on the left-hand side can do. You can protect that wall to protect you. He gets a cone, and then immediately ducks down. Excellent movement, what I like to call crouch accelerating, cracked, and then immediately stands up, and just good crosshair placement, a good aim, and nice little 3 tacks, and the opponent is dead quickly. GG's. He starts getting pressured by another opponent immediately. Sprays through. misses the snipe, but that's okay. We're going to push pretty heavily. We're stacked. We bounce her over to this opponent. Opponent is trying to sandtate and is kind of playing games with him. But this is what you have to do to opponents like this. Cracks, beautiful, and then again, same thing. What is the most important thing when you're establishing piece control? It's that cone, because the cone, what it does, it allows you to keep the opponent on that same layer and end the fight, especially if you have significant health advantage. So again, we notice this opponent sandtating, he's scared, he doesn't want to fight. Obviously, that's a good indication, one, that he's pretty bad in this particular situation. Nice crack. Opponent only hits him to 30, and then what ends up happening? Opponent's trying to build a ramp, can't because the cone is already established there. He gets that front wall cone and then goes for the back wall piece control to fully box him, and that's the GG's again. Ending fights incredibly fast, the key to W King. Let's take a look at this particular engagement. Oops. Now what I'm going to talk about in this particular engagement, we've already watched this, but we're going to slow this next one down right here. He is playing good right now. Sprays through again with wood. Opponents in wood and the end game are indications that are probably either shambles or bad. Now this gets a little bit scuffed. He only hits him for a little bit. Opponent does block him off, but what I'm going to talk about is the importance of movement right here. Gets into a scuff 50-50, but look what he's doing. He's what I would like to call crouch accelerating, is just spamming. Look, opponent misses, and then he misses. Saevid misses as well, but look, he's ducking left, back, and right. Opponent misses again, and then ends up finishing the fight without taking the damage in a significantly scuffed situation. His movement was excellent. He was like what I like to call just crouch accelerating, is basically moving left and right as you're crouching to make you extremely difficult to hit and getting good shots. Almost takes fall damage right there, but does not. Move into the next engagement. Good attempt at piece control, does not get it. Beautiful cone right there. This is really just good examples of piece control. Mitro classics in. Doesn't get it. Continues to push up. And then just good smart tap fire with the scar. That opponent being incredibly bad. But let's just, again, take a look at the preemptive piece control. You could see him going for it early. And you're going to see, if you really do read where your opponents are going well, how effective it can be even on such a significantly high ping. Pre-boxing being incredibly important when you don't have to worry about wall takes. If you pre-establish that piece control early on high ping, it's really good. He recognizes his opponents go there. He gets that cone. Why is that cone so important? Because it keeps him on the same layer. He gets the back cone. He resets the wall and then prioritizes that back wall to fully box the opponent. He's getting little cracks here and there. Opponent does shoot out the wall, but it's okay. We're going to set up a Mitro Classic in and Scar. The opponent decides to branch out. He gets a nice 36 crack white. And then here, just good recognition, 24. Just tap fire, right? Just tap fire with a gold scar. And that's going to end that fight. So good, just good establishing piece control early. We're at 12 kills. Opponent is cranking up to high ground. Nice little crack, and then the same type deal. Just good tap fire aim, not much to say about that particular engagement. 13 kills. Notice how this game isn't super stacked in moving zone. There's basically no people left. Gets a nice little crack. Now this is where double swinging can sometimes get you in trouble, but good pre-fight damage, it's okay. With the opponent, we'll just take a look, just a quick look at what sometimes, one, that side ramp is really bad. Because one, it can get you coned against good players, but two, if you double swing, the opponent will make a good read. The opponent does, but he just doesn't have good aim with it, and then is building out of wood. So Saevid just sprays through, and unfortunately the guy just falls right into 2 scar bullets. GG's on the next engagement. See, this opponent, he's kind of getting pressured. He's rotating in. He hears the crack. Attempts to get the piece control, but high ping doesn't get the wall, but good recognition, uses a right-hand peek as the opponent jumps in. This is a tad bit scuffed. I like the decision to tank storm and get some space away. Gets 17 crack. Looking for materials, whatever you can find. And then it fast forwards to kind of a very strange endgame. That opponent ends up dying to storm. Shows just the caliber of some of these opponents early on in this first game of the Pele Cup. Tries a nice retake, tries to get piece control, doesn't get it. Nice 96 crack. Opponent ends up in the box. And a very, very good first game. Now this game's going to be a little bit more slow, methodical. We're going to see a long drawn out fight right here against a solid opponent. Now, what I like right here, notice how he's holding up the blueprints. What he's doing is if this opponent makes a peanut butter peak, he is going to have his stairs to form, I believe it's, I like to call it a Kylix ramp. I'm not exactly sure if he's the one that coined it, but it's just what I call it. But it basically puts him in a scuff situation under his ramp. Opponent does not make that peanut butter edit. Opponent tries to go up. He does get this front wall. He almost boxes like a fish, but opponent does get out with him being on high ping. Right here, doesn't have a lot of mats, about 300 to play with. Just playing his angles, takes the 30 crack, but nice 97. Notice Eddie through with the blueprints. Now this gets a little bit scuffed. Opponent is basically running for his life, gets that nice back wall, but the opponent kind of phases out. He's doing a good job of staying on him. Now here's where it kind of gets nice. He kind of double swings right there, but it doesn't break. And what can end up happening right there? Dropping an opponent down, but he has 2 quick slurp fish, so he knows that, okay, I could continue a fight. Then a third party comes in, which really helps him out, spraying through, and then there's no way he's getting one tacked with a green tack. So not as high W King Octane action in this particular engagement. Good crosshair placement, and then recognizes that the wall is one tap with a Metro Classic, and then crouch accelerating. Let's just take a look at it. Now this is actually a bad angle. The opponent just made a wide edit. This is a left hand peak, just because of where he is, but it's just good crosshair placement even at a bad angle. So we're going to take a look. He, one, extends a lot of space. He is 0-1-5. This is kind of a really bad angle. The opponent makes a wide open edit. They trade pretty much evenly, but what Saevid does is realize this wall is going to be one tap. He reloads, good reload management, sprays through, Metro Classics in, movement again. Notice how he's crouched, basically hugging the cone to try to get as much protection as he can, and then boom, ends the fight fast. Good recognition. GG's to Saevid. Let's go into the next engagement. Sees this opponent healing up in the storm. Really smart decision to get out of there. The opponent getting that front wall, and the opponent is clearly shambles, being 22 damage. Now we're going to get to see a little bit of in-game action. This is really scuffed. He says, what is his aim? So this is actually not going to be true W King, but this is going to show a good way of getting picks and how to play endgame. Like I said, we're going to be taking a look at his 2 victory royales. Love this right here. As soon as he gets cracked for a lot of damage, he decides to back off. Why, right? He's 1-4-3 in endgame with 10 people. He doesn't really need that refresh or need that kill. He's just not being greedy. And he's also going to get zone to come back, so he's kind of sitting here waiting, looking back. He knocks this guy down, but continues not to pressure because now they're on the same layer. So now he's looking for people ultimate low, and now he's breaking through to play and get ahead. Does a good job, gets a tad bit pressured, and now notice he's also on dead side. If you look at the top right of the minimap and look, he's hugging that storm, so doesn't have to use as many materials as if he was rotating right through the middle, right? He's just hugging that storm, and he's on a good layer, uncongested portion. I know it's not a super stacked end game, but fundamentals are fundamentals. Notice opponent's on his layer. Goes for it. Now gets a 26 crack, but he is now basically chasing. You're going to see what a smart player, at this point he's like, okay, I need to just get in. And even though that opponent's 24 wide, he doesn't overextend. He uses his wood to rotate and then just gets in. Now he knows he's going to probably need to get a refresh, and then notices his opponent on his same layer. He's pressuring him off. And then once the zone starts moving, now he attempts to go for harpoon stuff. He does get a better tack out of this. Good recognition that the opponent has feet, but he only has about 30 builds. He gets into the old builds and then does a good job of just kind of covering whatever little openings there are. Notice how he's just, again, hugging that storm. He's in a really... Now he tries harpooning, and so what ends up happening is he gets a lot of attention. One, because he's in wood. He does an excellent job right here of just being patient with no mats, and that harpoon being really important sometimes in these more stacked situations, but not even this situation, just using it well. Gets nice, 2 cracks, really good movement, right? And then he uses the harpoon really good here. Drops his opponent to get a minimal refresh. Gets a shambles refresh on an opponent with 0 mats. And then there's this person, which he, again, gets another minimal refresh on. Matt's going to be at an absolute premium. This is just a good recognition that everyone's probably shambles on Mats, and that is a GG's for Saevid. Really great stuff.
How much longer do you have?
Just the outro, so like 2.5 minutes.
The game is halfway through the first quarter.
The biggest takeaway from Saevid's gameplay would be his technical understanding of angles, his excellent movement. His movement was top tier, allowing him to win scuff situations, allowing him to take minimal return damage, all the while doing this on a very high ping of around 60 to 70. And he also showed excellent rotational knowledge, hugging the storm to maximize what little mats he did have, and that way he could make it to an end game, getting 2 important frags in that second game to get minimal refreshes on shambles players down below, and then good recognition with the bouncer to bounce up. So just really good, smart W keying in that first game, and really good rotational knowledge. To be like Saevid, I would really recommend playing some scrims if you are struggling in endgame, or if you're a high ping player or struggling to key, really take a look at what he did in the first game, recognizing players that are bad, and then basically controlling layers with establishing cone piece control first, and thus allowing fights to end rapidly. And that again is how he ended up getting a 15 plus kill win pretty easily. And I understand it is Paley Cup, but this is going to be the kind of same formula in every Cash Cup. You want to key early, and then in these later games, after a couple of really good key games, play your rotations, use your mats smartly, and Saevid demonstrated that, racking up an insane 89 points in 2 matches. Well guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on it, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.